So I want to huddle up here and just imagine that there are a dozen dudes out there in the Midwest who are going to see this video, who are on a path to self-destruction, much like you were on, times in my life I have been on, who don't have the knowledge that you have now as a citizen scientist, that you have earned, that you've paid the price for, unfortunately. And you have the opportunity, you and I do, to put out there information that could save other guys from paying the same price. And with the recognition that the system, the medical matrix out there, in general, has not catered to the male mind. What's your field of vision right now? You just told me, hey, I tried to fist pump you, and you're like, wait a minute, Adam, understand that you have to be in this, how big of a window? Okay, so if you're going to fist pump Jaret.
About a basketball.
Okay, it's got to be right within his basketball. Yeah. Why is that?
I didn't take care of myself. I was type 1 diabetic that, did the things that the medical system was telling me I should be doing. And, it doesn't work for me.
When were you diagnosed with type 1 diabetes?
When I was 21, I believe. 21.
Okay. And what were the things that you were told to do?
Check your sugars, take insulin, depending on how many carbohydrates you're eating. So you're counting carbs, taking insulin accordingly, and checking your sugars.
And you were doing that. You were following directions. You're being a good boy?
I was doing that, and anytime you go into a doctor and you're following their advice and it's not working, they're going to tell you you're not following the protocol.
Okay.
And whether you are or not, only the patient's going to know that for sure. So I know that I was doing those things and it wasn't working. And I was on 2 different types of insulin. You have the long-acting insulin, the short-acting insulin. I did find out later that my doctor was actually making money from Lantus, the long-acting insulin company, by doing speaking engagements and stuff like that. And he was the one pushing it and told me not to get a pump. And he was supposedly one of the best in Milwaukee at the time.
It's hard to hear.
And
yeah, as a patient, I'm sure.
You find the stuff like that out. And then when he retired, my next endocrinologist was like, "Why aren't you on a pump?" That was the
first question.
First thing out of his mouth.
Of course, should
and
be.
I'm like, I was told I couldn't be because my sugars are not under control.
That's unfortunate. I'm really sorry.
And I mean, what's crazy is I got the pump and I had transplants because my kidneys were failing, all this stuff's going wrong. I had transplants within a year, and I probably wouldn't have lasted that year without the pump.
So you have, sitting here right now, you have 4 kidneys and 2 pancreas.
Yes.
Okay, because you are a survivor of a double transplant, which is absolutely miraculous.
Yeah, 5 years.
Fist pump. I got it in the window there. Awesome. Thank you, God. Yeah, honestly.
Absolutely.
There's
and that's where the medical field is bright.
Okay.
It's shining,
yeah.
Interventions that are life-saving,
It's amazing. It's incredible what you can pull off.
Truly amazing that I'm sitting here today because of that.
Yeah. So it's critical that in this new era of medicine, as we all come out of this COVID thing with new enlightenment, new strategies, telemedicine, the right to try meds, all of this healthcare matrix has been shaken up. You've done a beautiful job of, in a very, very personal way and very powerful, of laying out there the tensions that we have at work, which is medicine on the one hand in the modern era is just absolutely mind-boggling what good things can come out of that. You're a living example.
Sure.
On the other hand, the number 4 killer in America is still medical error. That's fact. It's an inconvenient truth. With all due respect to my colleagues who are in the matrix right now, wearing the golden handcuffs, many of them, that is fact. We have medical error, and we have influences that have been long-standing, some of them financial, But these paradigms need to be torn down. And what I describe this as is an identity crisis. More than healthcare failing, we're coming to grips finally with the identity that should be applied to the medical matrix, which is it's a place to get life-saving surgeries. It's a place to get critical care medicine. It's a place to get emergency care. But it is never purported to be a place to get your health optimized.
Right.
Normal is good enough.
Well, it should be two different systems. It should be the acute care, whether you're like, if I get in a car accident and I break my leg, I'm going to the ER because I need them to fix that. The rest of the system, you call it healthcare, I call it sick care.
Yeah.
You know, you're just treating something and you're not fixing anything.
So there are two. We do have
completely different systems.
We do have a two-tiered system, don't we? And it's not just based on insurance or cash pay. It's actually reactive medicine on the one tier, which would be traditional medicine. You get sick, you break your body, you go get surgery. It's reactive medicine. The other tier is proactive medicine, which you had to go on your own journey in the reactive medicine space in order to become much more proactive.
Yep.
And the inconvenient truth in that regard is the fact that 90% of America, maybe even 95%, still by virtue of their actions and the way they're spending their money is totally okay with a reactive system. Therefore, we are going to continue to need the vast majority of doctors to be trained to do reactive medicine. That's an inconvenient truth. Because you and I sit here, me as a proactive doc, an optimizer, a prevention guy, and you as a citizen scientist patient wanting to avoid disease, saying, no, we're on the right path. But the reality is the vast majority of Americans still are wanting to treat their bodies and the care of their bodies like they do their car. Get it all shined up, look good at the gym, feel good, but then go drive it until it breaks and then pull it into the human garage and get things fixed and get back out on the road, right?
Sure.
So as a part of your journey, as a guy who sits here, having survived some misadventures in the system as a type 1 diabetic, to put it lightly, who has survived getting an extra pancreas and 2 extra kidneys, incredible, you decided to go carnivore. You only eat meat.
Yep.
How did you arrive at that decision, and what message would you have for people out there who are trying to fix their own illness, their own disease, about your decision to go carnivore? It kind of flies in the face of a lot of other people out there saying you should only be eating plants.
Mm-hmm.
So what say you, buddy?
Well, I've been down that road too.
You did go plant-based, vegetarian diet.
Yeah, I was vegan for a little over a year, and not like the Oreo vegan where you can, you can eat Oreo cookies all day long as a vegan, but that's not going to be helpful.
Yeah.
So I was eating all plants, totally plant-based. Most of it was raw plant-based even. And I felt good for a little while just because you get rid of the garbage, but
Yep.
At the end of the day, it just wasn't enough nutrients.
Did you lose any weight as a vegan?
No, actually, I didn't lose any weight.
And how heavy were you?
270 pounds, I'd guess, somewhere around there.
Today you weighed in at 189?
Yeah.
Okay. So you try I would imagine if you had survived a transplant, a dual transplant like that, you would come out as at the peak of motivation to try anything to preserve your health. So you try vegan.
Yep.
That doesn't really work for you. Why did you choose carnivore? Who pushed you into carnivore? And what happened with your health once you went carnivore?
Well, I was stuck in the wrong mindset about food and nutrition. I had a friend, he's a good friend of mine, who was keto and was telling me about the ketogenic diet, and you should try this thing out. And we both had struggled with weight issues in the past, so he was going that route, and he kind of gave me a brief synopsis of, well, you're going to eat high fat and low carb. And I thought, you are out of your mind. Like, that is going to kill me.